Hey everyone, this is Michael Drain from the Unpopular Culture Podcast. You are listening to the BS Podcast Network. Hope you enjoy the show.
Jumbo, everyone.
Harambe.
And welcome to another edition of the Magic Our Way Podcast. Asante Sana, everyone. You are listening to the Magic Our Way Podcast from New Orleans, Louisiana, in the United States of America. We are artistic buffs talking about Disney stuff, and this is a show in which every opinion is welcome. MagicOurWay.com is where you can find us. Today we are talking about Splash Mountain and Lee's first week back. My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
And on this show, we follow the Disney concept of edutainment, where you focus on your entertainment, and along the way, you just might learn a thing or two.
Hey.
And as always, to join in our discussion, we have our resident comic genius from ivorycomics.com, Mr. Eli Ivory. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, man. How y'all gentlemen doing tonight?
Dandy.
Very dandy.
Fine and dandy.
I'm happy. Like Jessica
Fine
Tandy.
dandy. That's
Fine
right.
and dandy.
Zippity dandy.
Oh, no, don't start.
He always starts.
Yes. And also joining us on this show is our resident travel agent from Magical Moments Vacations, the Shaggy TA, Lee Lastavica. How you doing, sir?
Handy dandy notebook. Handy mandy.
What about your handy?
I'm good.
Oh, okay, good.
Give me a handy.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm good. How you guys doing?
We're dandy.
Uncomfortable?
Uncomfortable.
Slightly
Weird now.
in the middle.
It's not good.
A little frightened.
I
And,
want some orange juice.
and also on the show from down the bayou, fresh off the boat from Captain Stan's crew, we have our very own Officer Mohican Kirk Landry. How you doing, sir?
I've got pigged the fish out my teeth.
How about this way? Do you
Oh,
finish
for
swallowing?
Christ's sakes, again with these fish.
Hey, welcome. Glad to be here, fellas.
Well, thanks, man.
Kirk is
Thanks for the
chomping
invite.
down on like 6-month-old gummy candy in the shape of a fish, listeners.
Yes. So he got off the boat and he's like, man, I miss the seafood. So he went for the fish, the Swedish fish or whatever they are, and now they're stuck in his teeth.
Which goes to show it's true what they say. Cajuns will eat just about anything.
Pretty much. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's been a lot that has happened in the past in the world of Disney. We are talking about the Splash Mountain retheme that has been announced. It's going to be rethemed to Princess Tiana. And then also, too...
Did we already talk about this?
Probably so.
I thought so.
We made a mention of it, but and here it is. Here we are.
But it's official now.
It's
Before
official,
it was rumor.
official. It was Facebook official, and it's blown up everywhere in the Disney fan universe. If you're in that universe, you know that this is going down. And also, too, it also is blown up Lee's experience with Walt Disney World Reservation System. We're going to get a report from him on how that's going after his first week since the last time we recorded.
Oh, let's start with that. I need to laugh.
Yes, we will start with that because we need to laugh.
Share your pain, sir.
So, Mohicans, ladies and gentlemen, enough of our jibber jabber. Let's go discuss some magic. And ladies and gentlemen, that is some new music for a new segment we are debuting this week. And this is Tales from the Front Line with Lee. We're calling this Bookpocalypse Now!
Charlie, don't book!
And ladies and gentlemen, yes, that's right. So we've been talking about all the things that are happening as Walt Disney World, Disney opens their parks and whatnot. And of course, you know your Disney travel agent, whomever that may be, is at the front lines fighting for you, doing things to book your vacation to make sure you have a magical time. Lee, if you had to characterize your first week, and ladies and gentlemen, this is his first week back on the job, dealing with the systems that they got in place so they can reschedule everybody. Lee, how would you describe your first week?
I love the smell of cancellations in the morning.
Yes. It smells like not victory.
Yeah.
Smells like not earning any money this year.
Smells like cancellation.
Smells like working for free.
Smells like Teen Spirit. Oh, wait, no.
So, Lee, what are we talking about, man? What you got?
All right, man. Well, we definitely expected to hit the fan. Things went foobar out on the front lines. And, yeah, snafu.
All these technical terms.
Yeah, it was a rough week for travel agents, man. We were definitely taking heavy fire. We're down there in the trenches. But I think in the end, we're all going to come out alive. It's just a little shell-shocked for sure. As the other thing I was saying was this is kind of Saving Private Ryan's vacation, but
Saving the Ryan's family vacation.
That's right.
Ryan. We got a book, damn it. Got a book now.
So Lee,
So-
what you got? What you have for us today?
Well, unfortunately, probably about what I was expecting. In true Disney fashion, their IT department crashed and burned.
It did not. It was your fault.
That's what they said.
Oh,
They said it
yes,
was your
that's
fault.
true. That's true.
User
We can talk
error.
about that if you guys would like.
User error. That's right.
User error.
Go stand in the corner.
That's right. The problem happened between what is it? How's it go? The head and the butt, or something like that.
The head and the butt.
Yeah, there's like this IT joke when like somebody says, "Oh, this happened on my computer." They say, "Oh, I think the issue happened between like." The
Oh, your
computer
head and the
C-"
butt?
Yeah,
Your head and ass?
Head and ass.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
well,
jackass.
Even though it's true, but maybe. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
it depends. It depends, right? Because
Yeah.
in the IT department, don't get it twisted. And I feel for you, Lee, with the man playing Flight of the Valkyries for you. That's pretty telling. But I mean, it's an IT department is very involving in that instance. So, did they tell you why something crashed or what crashed? Because I mean, like you're talking about a specific type of system. Did they tell you what made the thing crash, or just say, "Hey, this just didn't work today"? Maybe somebody ain't paying their electric bill.
They told him what made it crash. Him.
Yeah.
You booked too much.
You jumped the gun. You tried too much.
You
did
book too much and you never shut up.
Yeah.
They call yourself Mouth Almighty.
That's right. You can't try to book all these people's vacations with a computer using Windows 95, Lee. It doesn't
That's
work
right.
that way.
No, yeah.
Quit screwing up booking other people's vacations on a perfectly functional website.
Yeah, man. Quit using that World Key Information satellite.
Seriously though, how does it feel like to work so hard booking people's vacations only to know they're all going to get canceled anyway?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like we've been basically working for free for the last 2 months,
Yep.
canceling vacations, and then if you were lucky enough to have someone that said, "Hey, you know what? We don't want to go this year. We're not comfortable, but can you just book us for the same time next year? We'll just go in 2021. Same week, same hotel, all that stuff. We just want to go next year." All right, cool. So you've got your list. This person needs to move. This person wants to change dates. This person wants to do this. This person wants to... Okay, so you're all ready. The first thing you do is you go online, because what you're supposed to be able to do is just go into the Disney travel agent website and pull up the reservation and go, okay, click change dates, click add tickets, click take away tickets, whatever it is you're supposed to be able to do. And of course, none of that worked. So probably 75% of the problems could be avoided if the website just would work, and we wouldn't have to call to get help with, whatever reservations we have.
This was on Monday?
This was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I was still
Happy days?
Happy days.
Yeah.
Not for him.
Not
Don't
happy
sound
days.
too happy.
Unhappy days.
Cancellation days.
It was every day it was like this. But, this is nothing new. This is what we do.
Just hit your elbow on the computer like the Fonz did and go A, and it works.
Hey.
Like
And if A doesn't work, try E, I, or U.
Yes.
And sometimes
Sometimes Y.
That's right.
I mean, you know what, though, too, Lee? Like, there are other, counterparts of travel agents as well. So maybe all of them going at the same time to book all the people. Maybe that caused the system to crash, too,
Well,
right? Is that not
that's
possible?
probably part of it. But at the same time, why then did they decide to let every single person from here to the end of next year go ahead and rebook everything? Why didn't they just say, hey, look, let's take care of June, July, and August for now?
I thought that's exactly what they did. They were supposed to be doing. Maybe that's changed. I don't know. I try to stay away from this technical stuff as much as possible. But I thought that was the idea, is that when it first opened up, the only people that could call in and do anything were people who had reservations and
had
theme park
current
tickets.
reservations. They had
Yes.
current reservations, right? But what I'm saying is that those could be anyone that had current reservations from here till December.
Ah, so they didn't limit.
wow.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you have a reservation for December 2019, you could call in on Monday and move it to next year or what have you.
Which they did, I think. Which
Which
everybody did.
everybody did, basically,
Wow.
is what happened. But, again, this is nothing new. This happens every time there's a promotion release, every time there's a new ticket package, anytime there's something that changes with Disney's program, so to speak, you try to do something and it crashes. It all crashes. But the crazy thing is, this is the craziest thing I've seen yet, is that normally you would call in and they would tell you, Okay, well, you're in the queue. Once your phone call is answered, you have 90 minutes to work as many reservations as you can, and then once your 90 minutes is up, we need to move on to the next travel agent. That's normal. That's normal, though. That's normal. That's what you always deal with.
I didn't even know that.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Pull
yeah.
help
So
desk.
you only have an hour and a half, so you got to get as many of your
Time
reservations.
starts now. Go.
Yeah. Normally, what will happen is you get in. There's a warning up front that says, hold times are longer than normal. Once you are
Vacations
online,
are closer than they appear.
or they're further away than they appear, really. Because again, they've got to get to the next person in the queue.
Wait, Lee. So I'm just so I understand this. So you're saying like when it's your turn to call, you're like, okay, I got 400 people. They need to go here, and there, and whoever you're talking to has to set that up within a 90-minute. Wow.
No. She could take her sweet time. Because once she runs out, it's up to Lee to have to call back. She's not under any pressure to get everything booked within 90 minutes.
Okay.
You got a 90-minute limit.
Window.
And after
you
that,
got
you got
a 90-minute window, and then after that, whatever you didn't get done, you got to call back in.
Right. And
See,
wait and hold again.
I mean, I don't know how their system works, but like I've worked different call centers before. So if they're doing something where, say, you have to make a ticket, like maybe they have like a template.
No, they won't have that, but they might have to. They might have to put you on hold to call guest services to get something worked out.
Damn, that sounds stressful.
That could take your entire time.
That's probably, you know what? The IT department probably shut that website down on purpose.
There are other call services. What they do is they say, "Look, every agent's on hold. Give us your number and we'll call you back."
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Or hey, you won't lose your place in line. We'll call you back. No, that they don't have that option.
Oh,
You know what option they need? They need Eli.
No, they don't. Why they don't put no piece of that?
You could give them the e-guarantee.
Yeah, it will go there. If you pay for it, it'll go there. I'm not a earmarked travel agent. Like I do this for free. No, that's a lot of work.
But I do play one on a podcast.
Yeah. No, I don't. No, I don't. I support one, but I don't play one.
All right, Lisa, what we got?
So that's the normal process. So that's not unusual, and it may take you 4 to 5 hours to get through to get your 90 minutes in. But this week, what happened is the calls became so overwhelming that they just turned the phone lines off.
Damn.
They said, no, we're not taking any more phone calls.
Wow.
So whereas before you could at least get in the queue, and you might have to wait 4 or 5 hours to get your call answered. So many people were calling in because, again, the site, you couldn't do anything on the site. So many people calling in, they just said, we cannot take any more phone calls. As of right now, basically, we're going to be here till midnight answering all these phone calls. And this is at 6:01 a.m.
What?
Yes.
Oh, I hang up the phone on you too. You called me at 6 in the morning.
That tells me that prior to opening, you already knew you were going to do this.
I was going to say that's probably part of the
They
protocol.
definitely had it as a contingency plan.
That took all 60 seconds.
Yeah. All in 60 seconds. And with the phone line.
We're done. We're out. We're done. No more.
They're ready to drop that napalm.
It wasn't like they had the radio. Hey, boss, we got this many people in line. Hold, please. Let me go check with Mr. Iger and see whether or not we can shut down the system. And no, they were prepared to shut down the system.
There's probably only like 3 people working.
Yeah.
They're just like, I can't do this anymore. I heard that Agent Nolte and Agent Murphy, it took them 48 hours to get like a response. So that's got to be pretty tough.
That had to do with the bend in the tailpipe.
Well, Agent Scully and Mulder said that your vacation's out there.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, man.
keep
Not the
looking for it.
Nice one. Nice one. I like that.
I heard somebody say, Ziggy.
I like that. Hit him up, he knocks him down.
They're definitely shorthanded, I would imagine. And on top of that, you had probably triple the phone calls because the website wouldn't let anyone do anything. There are certain things. There's this one little glitch where if you have the memory maker or insurance on your package, you can't do any changes online. For whatever reason, that messes everything up.
Yeah, I don't want to change this insurance on my package.
Yeah.
So no matter what, if you've got a client that's got memory maker or insurance on their package, you're always going to have to call in.
Really?
You'll never be able to fix it online.
Wow.
But outside of that, you should be able to do pretty much anything else online. Now, compound onto that, you've also got people that were canceled that you're trying to, I've got people that were, supposed to come in June that we're finally able to deal with. So you've got all of that backup log as well of people that were canceled. And then those people, they had to move if let's say, for example, they were staying in Port Orleans. Well, Port Orleans is not scheduled to be open right now, so they had to move them somewhere else. So that's again something that only someone on the phone could do.
Yeah.
So there was just a perfect storm. But this is again the first time I've ever encountered them just actually saying, "No, y'all, we're not taking any more phone calls. Talk to you tomorrow, maybe."
Well, at least they told y'all that, so that way you didn't have to continue to call in all day.
I always wondered, Lee, as many times as you've booked, you don't have like a person,
like some clout.
Yeah, there's not
like a concierge or something, like a
contact. Yeah,
Give
me Sheila.
Give me Sheila. Yeah,
right.
Girl, what's up, girl?
I'm gonna slip you a 20 and help me out, right?
Exactly.
That kind of thing.
You don't have somebody like that.
No, that'd be nice if you had like their personal cell phone. Be like, hey,
can
you help me out here?
No, but like nobody.
You gotta break them off a little something. Like, send them some Krispy Kremes or like what are some of those office tricks?
Don't send the bucket nuggets. You want their help. Don't
one of those fruit bouquets, those edible bouquets. Send them that.
Edible arrangement.
Yeah, edible arrangement. Send her that.
Fiber.
Right.
Clear them out. Make sure they're good.
Yeah, keep them healthy.
No, nothing like that.
There's
everyone just goes through the queue, and then you get who you get, and you don't throw a fit.
So, what has been the worst part of all this for you, Lee? Besides not getting paid.
Besides everyone canceling.
Yeah.
Besides not getting paid anything to do all this work.
Right.
Well, I mean, technically, I will get paid, just not till next year when they travel next year.
Hold down. But shouldn't your commission go up by like certain percentage points per year that you've been working on the exact same fucking trip?
Wow. Right? That'd be nice. No, unfortunately not. That would be. And actually, if you think about it, our commissions went down because they eliminated the dining plan.
There you go.
Everyone had the dining plan. That's gone. They didn't pay us. They didn't keep paying us for that. But I mean, in the big scheme of things, that's not the overall concern. I mean, as long as we're still booking and Disney's still open, then fine. That is what it is. We're not. Personally, I'm not. It doesn't hurt my feelings that, that I'm not going to quote unquote make more off of it. That's fine. It is what it is. I just wanted them to be able to go to Disney. Someday, eventually.
Yeah, but that's not your fault. That's
Disney
that's out of your control. I mean, they keep shifting the dates around for their own reasons. I mean, that's not your fault.
The hardest part is that things are never consistent with Disney. We were told we can't do any changes to tickets. All right, cool. But then that person sees online, oh, I just was able to add tickets or blah, 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 blah. I'm like, wait a minute. How is that person able to add tickets and I can't add tickets? And then you call and they're like, no, you can't change tickets. I don't know what you're talking about. And then I called yesterday on a different client and they're like, oh, yeah, we can change the tickets. No problem. So it's like, can we or can we not? And how can one person do it and another person can't?
So you're saying the protocol changes from day to day? What you're allowed to do and what you're prohibited to do.
Right.
You never know going into the following day.
Well, it sounds like this department is making it up as they go along as well because
I'm sure they are.
Yeah. Lee has different shifts going on with different people. So, yeah, they're probably just like, okay, yeah, we got to fill this out for you. Good luck. And then they send it off to somebody else in, like, Bangladesh or somebody.
Bangladesh.
Sandwich.
But, the good news is that there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay.
When it's all said and done, the good thing about booking, I would say with an agency in general, but especially with us, we've got 300 agents. So if you're 90 minutes ran out and you couldn't get to everyone, the next person might only have 15 minutes worth of work. So you can shoot them a quick email and be like, hey, can you take care of this person for me? So we did a lot of that, man. We did a lot of tag teaming. If I only had like 20 minutes left on my call, I could always three-way someone in and they could get in
a menage a travel agent.
That's all a three-way take is 20 minutes.
Menage a TA.
Yeah.
Offer some orange juice.
That's right. There we go. No pulp. Remember that.
And so we did that a lot this week, man. There was definitely a lot of teamwork going on with Magical Moments Vacations because man, we're all kind of dealing with the same thing, and
we're all
as you said,
in this together. Yeah,
we're in the foxhole together.
That's right.
Right, we are the world.
If you had any advice for the Disney public at large who wants to go to Disney, can't wait to get to Disney, would your advice be wait and see, or book as soon as possible?
my advice would be book as soon as possible for next year. Because, I mean, it's one of those deals where, I've got someone right now that's they're going in July, and hopefully they're going to get to go. Right now they are. They actually just got upgraded to Animal Kingdom Lodge because they're not going to be able to stay at Port Orleans anymore. But who knows what's going to happen in a couple weeks from now. Hopefully they're able to actually go. I think 2021 is definitely going to be a better year. Of course, we're starting to build our bookings for next year. A lot of people are rescheduling and things like that. So 2021 is going to be hectic, that's for sure. But yeah, man, so we're just trying to keep everyone abreast of the newest news and let everyone know as soon as we know.
Well, you keep on those breasts, man.
Yes, please.
Yeah, stay abreasted.
And ladies and gentlemen, look, any of you other travel agents out there, I'm sure we'll have more of these story moments. I know we have some travel agents in the Mohican universe. We'd love to hear your battle stories. Maybe you and Lee can come on and y'all can chat and throw a bunch of TA lingo, and we'll just sit here like a cocoa in the corner. Let's listen to y'all.
Just watch it.
It'll be awesome.
Just watch it. I like Flight of the Valkyries. That was
you like that? That's cool.
That.
Yeah,
That was cool.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
I like that.
It gets me going. It gets me pumped up.
It's a Rambo theme in there next time.
Takes me back. Yeah,
making me get the PTSD.
Oh
Watch
no.
out.
Well, look, man. Hey, Bookpocalypse now, man. We'll see what happens in your next week, huh, Lee? Hopefully it's better,
so.
maybe.
Good luck.
I think it's going to be better because, already by Friday I only had to wait an hour to get in instead of 4 hours. So by next week we should be pretty much back to normal. And then, of course, when everything gets canceled for July and August, we'll be back to going crazy.
Awesome.
Well, tell Disney pay their phone bill.
Well, Mohicans, ladies and gentlemen, send us your battle tales of booking woe at show@magicoraid.com. Mohicans, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for this?
No.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You ready for this?
I mean, I gotta be.
Oh, please go first.
Mohicans, ladies and gentlemen, as you can tell, we are about to embark on the journey that is the Splash Mountain discussion.
Wow.
Since last time we recorded, Disney has officially announced they are planning to retheme that mountain. From Splash Mountain, which is based upon the Song of the South characters and whatnot,
To a swamp.
To a hilly swamp?
A mountainous
I know it's a mountainous
swamp.
gelatin.
Yeah.
It's a drop.
It's a gumbo of different things.
If anything, our water flume goes up instead of go down.
Yeah, that's rough.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are a New Orleans-based Disney podcast. You know,
Yes.
we're all from the South Louisiana region, so we are very familiar. And if you're in the group, you know a lot of Louisianans are passionate about our fair New Orleans, our fair South Louisiana, because it's a completely different culture.
Can I just say I'm always traumatized when you mix New Orleans and water in the same sentence. Just gonna leave that
Those
where it
wounds,
is.
they run deep.
They
Yeah.
run deep. Can I have Flight of the Valkyries for that one?
I think we had a listener, in fact, in the group, our Pleasure Island group, mentioned that they should invert the ride and make it like New Orleans. Like the
Thank
Bowl.
you.
Yeah.
That'd be a little bit more realistic.
You could put some upside down houses on the side of it, like they just floated in there.
Yeah,
Boat sticking out.
A floating like bathtub. Like, going there.
No, floating caskets and stuff.
Yeah.
Make it a little more realistic.
Little extra mud
Terrible.
thrown at you.
Yeah.
Perfect name, Katrina Mountain.
There you go. Bam. I'm on it.
Kirk, you live in a Louisiana swamp. How many rocks do you see?
Oh, my God.
How much mountainous terrain? How many?
I think the only rocks he gets is when they blow up a road to repave a new road.
They dump the remnants
When they
of the old road.
they scrape the surface off and they resurface the road. That's the only time we get rocks, huh?
Dump that rock in there for preservation.
Erosion protection. Yeah.
But
Down there.
as far as hills, mountains, rocks, and everything, there's not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot.
But not a whole lot. Do you mean any?
Pretty much. The only rocks that are in a swamp have been put there by man.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It's fair to say this is like the first mountain that they're completely retheming. Yes, is that correct? Am I thinking of any other mountain that they completely are planning to retheme like this?
Oh God!
I know they've done redos.
That's a great question. I don't think so.
Yeah, so this is probably the first major
Hyperspace Mountain and counted as an overlay, but that's like a temporary kind of
right.
thing.
It's not a permanent thing. This is going to be a permanent thing.
Yeah.
That's going to be a complete redo. And Hyperspace Mountain was awesome, by the way. But anyway, I digress.
Yes, it was.
So Splash Mountain's going away.
This is happening.
So we're going to lose a mountain.
Well,
It's still to be there.
I don't know.
you should. But I mean, I don't know how they
think
plan
about
to do it.
You know, it's not going to. Is it going to be called Tiana's Mountain? Is it going to be called Princess in the Mountain?
That doesn't sound
No.
right.
I said it should be called Woke Mountain.
Woke Mountain.
Woke Mountain. But then
Woke back mountain.
No, yeah, look, one of our listeners had a poll on their group, Magic Highways Pleasure Island, and I voted for going down Tiana's Mounds.
I'm like,
that sounds like what you would go for.
I'm full support of that.
who doesn't get to go
fits
down
the-
on the
the
Princess
stool.
often? I
I'm
hear
a
that.
big
Did
fan
you
of
see
Tiana.
though? But like right after that, the next thing you know is like this change was announced, and then they said, "Oh, well, now you need to change the Jungle Cruise." And I said, I think we just inadvertently stumbled upon the best name for this new Splash Mountain, Slippery Slope.
True yet political.
And it fits
It
because
does.
it's wet and it's slippery because
and-
once you start changing one thing, now you got to look at everything else.
Yes, and the timing of this announcement is impeccable. Of course, we know everything that's going on. If you're listening in the future, just look back at 2020. I'm sure there's going to be history books on this freaking year because it's been a nutty year. On
Yep.
top of everything that's been happening politically, we skirt the edge of being political on this podcast. But we can't help it.
Absolutely.
When it just whether
It's in your
coincidence or they
face,
plan
neck
it,
and chest.
It's here. It is. I mean, this podcast is documenting what's happening at this moment in time. We're recording Saturday, June 27th, 2020, in the evening, and this announcement was made during the week in between our two shows. And this is like Disney's like a podcasting gold mine right now. It's like every
You're
week,
absolutely
we're
right.
planning to talk about something else, and it's like, oh, Disney decided
Yeah.
to say this. Well, let's throw that out the window. Let's talk about this because you can't help it.
And that was the thing, right? Like we were talking about what was going to come up, and we had some ideas because we try to plan on the fly if we can, around the fly. But we kind of would try to work something out. This happens, and we're just like,
For like the third week in a row.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes, third week in a row.
that's why I like, and privately I texted Dave, I'm like, look, I know we talked about something, and I'm totally cool with doing the news on this because this is big and it's more pertinent.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, I thought this was hypothetical because we just talked about
Yeah, we
this
just
last
talked about
week.
it. It was a petition,
Yeah.
and the people were saying the petition, and then lo and behold, this week, the week of Saturday 27th, or the week
Yeah.
previous, they came out with an announcement saying that this is going to happen. When it's going to happen, we don't know.
And I had to text him
Yes.
to ask to make sure that I was like, dude, did I just read that right? Is that happening or is that just more
No,
like speculative
it's
stuff?
announced on Disney Parks blog.
It was
It's on the website.
Bill
It's everywhere
Murray,
else. Yes.
Groundhog's Day.
Yes.
It was like, you got to be kidding. I mean, we just sat there and pretty much picked apart why this would be a stupid idea.
Right.
I shouldn't say a stupid idea,
But not-
why it wouldn't thematically make any sense.
Or just culturally.
I mean, why? Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean,
Especially if you're going to keep the mountain thing. I know there's somebody, the guy that made the painting, right? This
Yeah.
mentioned something about, cypress trees are such and such a height. That's great and all. But that's it.
yeah, but how do you get a boat up a cypress tree?
Voodoo. Voodoo. That's it. Voodoo. Saved it.
We make boats out of cypress trees.
Yeah.
And houses.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
just-
great wood.
Kill the mountain. Why do we need a mountain? I mean, I guess because they need the drop, I suppose. But I mean, if
And
you're
the
going to
space,
do
right?
this, do it right. Because let's be honest, how many of these overlays work out well?
Yeah, I,
mean,
hope it's more than just an
Figment,
overlay.
Stitch, the Three Caballeros, you name it. How many of these overlays to a really good attraction? I mean, you're not talking about just a good. You're talking about a classic. This is probably the best Disney attraction ever produced post Walt. I don't think I'm exaggerating in saying that.
No, it's historical.
Well, it's also one of the most iconic. I mean, when
Yeah,
you think
iconic's
of
better.
Magic Kingdom, when you get past the castle, what do you think of outside of the castle as being iconic in
Sorry,
Magic
Magic-
Kingdom? And it's Splash Mountain.
That's it.
Space Mountain.
Well, but Space
No, more
Mountain,
Splash Mountain.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah.
like, we did the Quest for the Best in terms of mountain, and Splash Mountain, I think, won as the best mountain out there because it really is. It's a classic. You're basically saying, and don't get me wrong, the concept art looks beautiful, and I can't wait to see what they're doing. I'm not closing my mind to it, but it's the Imagineering
Like a
equivalent.
shoehorn.
Well, it's Imagineering equivalent of asking them to remake The Godfather.
Yeah, no, that's
With or without Al
it's
Pacino.
it's just as big.
The scope of what you have to accomplish. I mean, you have to at least hit the mark of what Splash Mountain was, if not exceed it.
Because,
This
I mean,
is going to be a
yeah.
tough challenge.
Well,
I mean, let's be realistic here. They're
Yeah.
not going to change. I mean, they're not going to change the track significantly. right?
That's very expensive.
I mean, that'd be very expensive. They might as well just tear the whole damn thing down and start from
Right.
new, which would be great.
That's exactly what
mean,
they should do. If they're going to do it, do it.
Yeah, if anything, they're going to change it maybe slightly, just like they did with Maelstrom. They may add a couple of feet to make things work, but that's about it.
Yeah.
They're not. They're not going to change that majorly. That's not going to be a major haul. So then all that you got left is just the exterior stuff.
And in a sense, you're really shortchanging Tiana.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Tiana, Naveen, Mama Odie, they all deserve their own attraction.
I agree.
A brand new one, not a retheme, an old one.
Voodoo dude.
It's
Say your
you
piece.
talk about thematically. We're going from a western/southwestern town in between a old mine shaft, whatever, mine mountain in Utah, wherever it's at. What's going to be in the middle? A swamp? How does that fit?
That's exactly it, Kurt.
That fits perfectly in New Orleans Square.
Yeah.
But not in Frontierland.
I like this Kirk that came out today. This Kirk was straight up. I like that.
And that's a
You
lot
saw
of
his
arguments.
accent he had to
Yeah.
grind, right?
He was like, yeah, look, I got to say this, and you didn't hesitate at all. I like that, sir.
That's the thing too.
I've
It's
been
like,
listening to
people
Sensei
make
Creep
that.
says
But
it.
people make that argument on Twitter a lot too.
Yeah.
So, what is your response when they say Splash Mountain doesn't really necessarily fit in Frontierland? Not that I agree with that, but I'm curious.
Why
don't see it.
why would you say that Splash Mountain doesn't
Yeah.
fit?
No, that's what people because it deals with like a bog, something. I mean, you don't find areas like that this is what people have quoted, right? It doesn't deal with areas that you find out west in the frontier, whatever it was called, the frontier then of the theme.
Well, I mean, you're talking about Chickapin Hill, which technically was not a mountain, but they made it. I mean, really, that's
It was a
the
hill,
thing
yeah.
about the name. You can keep the name Splash Mountain because Splash had nothing to do with Song of the South.
No, it didn't.
That had to do with the Mermaid movie, and Mountain really had nothing.
That's
to
true. That's
with
true.
the Tales of Brer Rabbit in them, but they found a way to incorporate the Briar Patch. Mm-hmm. They found a way to incorporate several different elements that thematically make sense. Putting it says a lot about how obstinate and stubborn people are that Disney kind of felt that instead of trying to educate people as to the origins of these characters and how they originated in African American folklore and that these characters were characters who were fleshed out and elaborated upon by African Americans who had heard these tales and shared it with their young.
Exactly.
And were handed down to their children and their children's children until they were finally incorporated into story form, instead of educating people that this really is a true representation of African American culture. They decided it was easier to put New Orleans in the Wild West. They decided it was easier to put a swamp on a mountain. They decided that it was easier to ditch African American folklore in place for a European fairy tale that they just race swapped.
Ow, you know what, man? Boy, that's why I know you.
That's why I love you.
That's why I know you. Like, I was going to hold back on that for a bit, but
No,
yeah.
don't hold back.
It's like replacing Roots with the Black Honeymooners.
Yeah. Look, I was working on something, and I'm not gonna say what it was for the sake of. And then this thing came out, and then literally I texted him like, "Is this for real?" Because one, yeah, we talked about this, but two, yeah, if you want to do this because it's just something you're like, hey, look, we feel like this attraction needs an upgrade. Mm-hmm. I understand that, but if you just say, oh, in the light of the culture of things that are happening just to be popular, we're going to go ahead and, yes, he's right, take something that is historic and that has been part of African American folklore and decide to not enhance it or educate, but to say we're just going to just wipe it out and we're just going to put somebody else in there that at least fits the mold of the, of what we have as a brand, and that, yeah, they just happen to be.
You've reached a scary place where
I was afraid to do it, but I needed to do it.
But
Yeah.
when feelings become more important than facts,
Yeah.
that is a dangerous place. Go ahead. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Kevin.
I was
you
about
want
to say before we. One of the things that I've read that a lot of people argue is this: is one thing that's plagued, this traction along with it because it's part of the pipeline as well as the movie itself, Song of the South. If you didn't know, it was based on Song of the South, or at least the characters of. There it is. Mm-hmm. The one of the things that people argue is something against this is the fact that Disney has not specified exactly when the movie was supposed to take place, whether it was antebellum or it was in the Reconstruction area. And for that matter, they feel like because Disney has not specified this specific time period, they're inviting the idea that antebellum slavery is being glorified.
Well,
and so that's an argument I've read. What do y'all think of that?
I would go ahead, Eli. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead. I'll follow up. You put up to the cage. I'll pin it.
and to be fair, Disney still hasn't said anything as far as when that movie, and they also say that it was never meant to be a historical representation of that time period. But they never say what time period is what people are arguing.
That's exactly, and this is where I'm afraid that we're going with this, Kevin, because if people really think that Walt Disney idealized slavery, I mean, why are we not asking that the partner statue be torn down? Because I mean, I'm afraid that that's what's coming next. There you go. Yeah, I think people's intentions should matter, and the fact that everything that Walt did was meant to evoke a feeling of an idealistic time period that never quite existed. You know, when you go down Main Street, it's the Main Street that never existed. When you go to Tomorrowland, it's the future that never existed. Everything that Walt gave you was this idealistic version. I mean, shoot, like, go look at any movie in the 40s. It's all like you ever watch a gangster movies in the 40s? You would think all Italians talk like, hey, capa, you're going to do what I say there, see? You know?
And then smash grapefruits into chicks' faces and wear like the big square suits. Yeah.
Primo Edward G. Robinson impression, too. I like that.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
You'll never take me alive.
You would fit in the Great Movie Ride.
Those early 40s movies were not meant to be anything more than an idealistic representation. Yeah. So the idea that we need to compare what it was like to make movies in the 1940s when this movie was probably heralded as... I mean, how many movies were there in the 1940s that featured a black lead?
Not many. If at all.
If at all.
Yeah.
Let alone the fact that all the voices, Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox, these were all African American actors.
Yeah,
how many?
There not many, not many at all. I'm sorry, you still
no. You can go ahead.
No,
anytime you want to. And look, and I think that's how we get better as a people is that we have conversations and we express our concerns. I think where you lose people is when you try to express these concerns and somebody labels you unfairly as being this or that or the other.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm going to say this part, and if this brings me down a weird rabbit hole, I already know what I want to say, but if it brings me down a real rabbit hole, just give me a chance. I'm going to pull us right out of it.
All
okay?
Right.
So here's the thing. This is my personal thing. I agree with what Kevin was saying. It doesn't make sense to...
Well, I didn't say. I was just repeating what I've read.
Well, okay, I'm sorry.
The
right,
statement,
Kevin, that was not an endorsement by Kevin. He was just saying, I apologize. Oh,
you're good.
So... Yeah, here's the thing. This was like when I first heard about that. Now, I was working on something a little more related to what I do. And something struck me when I read that article. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I like Tiana and I understand the brand and I understand what's going on. And I also understand that this is a very iconic ride and that whatever pressure that they feel about whoever it is, I guess they're doing what they're doing. I don't know if it's masked under that or if they're just like, yeah, we've been meaning to do this for a while. We just didn't have the option to do it. But here's my thing. If you wanted me to believe that you are seeing what's going on in the culture and that you wanted to like inspire the culture, prove this to me. Go ahead and talk to Universal Studios Disney and say, hey, listen, there's only one Marvel property we're going to take from you. Just one.
Yeah.
Just one. And we have Splash Mountain. And if we're going to go ahead and redo it, then it's got to be the biggest, baddest thing anybody ever seen. Because we're Disney, and if we're going to go ahead and improve a culture, we're going to do it right. Take Black Panther.
Oh, my God. I was about to say, are you about to say what I think you're going to say?
Yeah, I'm going to say it.
Exactly.
Oh, my God. Damn right, I'm going to say it.
That's a great point.
I'm sorry. That would be freaking...
See what I'm saying?
No, I can totally see how that fits.
Look.
Because you can theme it to where it's... I don't mean to interrupt. Don't
you love that story? No, that's glory right there.
Y'all know I love Black Panther, so I could go off, but I'm going to let you... Go ahead and speak.
Just let me... You thought I was going to take you somewhere weird, but you know where I'm going.
No, when you started saying that, I was like, oh, if he says Black Panther, I'm going to all over this mic.
Yeah, that's why you love me. All right, that's what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, if I am to go ahead and believe, and trust me when I tell you, I read a lot of stuff about the culture, and there's different things I read and know and all this other stuff. And yeah, the different aspect of this, it does kind of bother me because the thing is, it doesn't inspire as a whole anything. But to take that character and then you as a company say, hey, look, we stand behind what we can do. We can't change all this other stuff, but we have this property. We want the property so bad, we will fight to get it, take it, retheme that area, and then make that. I'm about to curse. Make that area.
Curse. I'll bleep it out.
Make that motherfucking shit Wakanda.
Yes.
You kidding me?
Dude, I was about to say that'd be perfect because Wakanda has the technology to mask the area. Nobody can find it.
Right.
And then you'll never know unless you walk right into it and it's like, oh, what is this place?
Exactly, right? I mean...
And then there goes your thematic argument. It's out the window.
It's out the
Wakanda.
window. There is no... It's fictional, so you don't have to worry about, oh, no.
It's set up perfectly because you got that walk by on the bridge, and so you could take the walkway to get to Big Thunder Mountain. You never, if they do it right, you'll never notice there's Wakanda there.
Oh, yeah, check this out. You know there's the big 52-foot drop, right?
Yeah.
All right, so, like, you go through the part where they're fighting and everything, and you got Killmonger and Panther and stuff. Bam, the drop is when he throws it right off the thing, and then you add some extra part to that to where he comes back and takes the kingdom and everything like that. My point is this: if you want to go ahead and say we stand by a culture, and that's respectable, and that's what you're actually doing, then take something that actually inspires and embodies the culture, and then prove to me as a business that you went ahead and did something that is technically, like, how do you say, like, outside of your jurisdiction?
Right. You didn't do what was easy.
Exactly.
You went out and said, no. We're going to go with a property that really inspires.
Yes.
And it did inspire.
Right. It's not easy. It's not paying lip service. We're not turning a mountain into a swamp. We're not, using a character that's already in our arsenal. We're going to take a character that's culturally relevant. And
exactly.
Something that people can kind of really, they want to see, that they really would love to see representative of them in the parks.
Yes. And it still allows for everybody to come together. There isn't that
I think that's brilliant.
division. Yeah.
No, I think that's awesome. Vibranium Mountain. It's in a mountain.
Right. I mean, it does.
It's set up.
It does its old job.
Their infrastructure is set up to do so.
We did our whole show about how to get Black Panther into the parks. I mean, that's another character that we tried as desperately as we could to get into the parks. Because, and that's the thing, and I think that's what I'm saying. Like, almost, it's like, as a New Orleanian, it's like, oh, hey, look, New Orleans, we're including your culture again. It's like, yeah, but you're kind of changing it and shoehorning it in.
It's a place that don't belong.
Right. And putting, that's exactly it. And so it's like, no, you're using our culture to solve your problem. And I would prefer to go ahead and see you create a brand new ride that is themed around, not retrofitted to somebody else's attraction, but you're telling the Imagineers get to tell the exact story that they want to tell, and I would love to see that.
But Danny, it's gonna be so awesome because it's gonna be New Orleans and Mardi Gras. It's gonna be so great. Oh my god!
No, future travel person. No, because look, let's put it like this. I had I was
gonna say. No, let me just say this one point.
I know
real quick.
it's passion,
right? It's a lot of passion. I don't know of a single overlay that Disney has done off the top of my head, maybe y'all can help me, all Disney fans, that has been like a permanent overlay, not a temporary overlay. Because let's face it, if we changed Haunted Mansion with Nightmare Before Christmas, people would get tired of that after 3 months. And they're like, when we're getting our Haunted Mansion back? It wouldn't work. I'm saying name a permanent overlay where the attraction stayed virtually the same and they just shoehorned a new IP in there and it worked out well. Name one.
I can't.
I mean, I get it. Everyone concept art's beautiful. It looks nice. Yeah, y'all do realize that history says that this is likely not going to be that good.
Exactly. I know somebody out there is going to argue Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout.
Yeah, but that would no. If you got the original Tower of Terror attraction, it was because they did Tower of Terror so poorly and on the cheap. Thank you. That comes out looking better. But if you got the real...
Yes, I said that on the show this week. It's like we have the original tower. Yes, it was a technological nightmare for the Imagineers, but it was the better of the two. Sorry, West Coasters. Ours is better.
Y'all got everything else better. Don't feel bad.
Yeah, it's true. It's good. 7 out of 10 ain't bad.
Right.
And like you said, with the Tower of Terror, I mean, I loved Mission Breakout when we went on at Disneyland.
Sure.
But I mean, it doesn't really tell the same level of story that the original Tower of Terror does. Like, when you're on the ride, you're in the story. That's more like just observing in that case. So, yeah, I think still to that point, I would agree with you.
The Disney fans, it's man, I can't tell you how disturbing it's been. If you're a Disney fan, chances are 90% of life you have in common.
Right.
You love creative stuff. You love getting whisked away in the magic and the wonder. And to see so many people out there fighting amongst one another.
Over
it's big,
something like
yes.
this, when it's something big that's realistic.
Exactly. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like when you have so much in common, to be focused on the one or two little things that y'all slightly disagree on. It's disturbing. It's disturbing to see that. And like I said before, I think that's the way, the only way that you can really kind of have a situation where people kind of come to some resolve is by sitting down and having an open and honest conversation. You start name calling and you start
and that's the
labeling.
problem.
That's the problem.
That's the
You can't
problem,
do
right?
that.
You can't
Right.
sit and talk
Because-
with somebody because they can easily block you on social media.
Well, we can.
Well, we have.
we
well,
can. Yeah,
well,
we
that's
can.
it, and that's the thing, right?
and our listeners can if they want to.
Yeah,
Engage.
listeners
Absolutely.
totally welcome. I mean, all opinions
You
are
know?
welcome. This is a big test of that. I mean, look, I mean, it's no different. I mean, we've done so many shows before. I mean, hell, we've made songs together. Kirk, you jumped in my bed before. I wasn't even expecting it. I mean, you know, like I've had
I
talks.
still remember that lovely.
I know,
You weren't
it was
alone. He
sweet.
jumped in all of our beds.
Oh, okay, good. I didn't know that. Nobody said that during the
Yours,
show.
yours is the only one who actually got hurt when I did it.
I'm hard, boy. I'm hard.
You know, Danny and I.
You were.
Danny
That says
and
a
I,
lot, actually.
Danny and I wanted to make sure you were special, so we didn't say anything. But yeah, he did
Yes.
jump in our
Oh,
bed too.
okay.
Yes.
Well, dang, nobody tell me that.
But we did start locking our door. You did not.
I had no door.
He had the
no
bathroom. You
door.
could lock it.
You were open
Yeah.
to that jump.
I mean, like, you know, I needed to smoke probably during that time, so my nerves was all kind of bad. But the point is yes, we are able to have a discussion like this because, yeah, we've gone through a lot and we respect each other because we all have different cultures and different things. And then, like, that's how you learn, right?
That's how you get
go-
better. That's how you improve.
That's how you, that's right.
But you know, if I were just to
That's how
block
winning
and
is done.
end the conversation and just surround myself with people that think the same way, that's
But I
not
saw-
there
I saw-
good
Well,
either.
but, yeah, you never get anywhere if you think that Splash Mountain should remain the way it is, and you label that person a racist. You don't get anywhere. If you think Splash Mountain should change, and you label that person a Marxist, you're never going to get anywhere. Just talk. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, why?
There is no unifying truth. Chances are, if you are all the way one way that this thing should go, or all the way one way this thing should say, you're wrong. Because if you're not in some way conflicted about it, then you're not educated on the subject. That's my opinion.
Oh, go ahead, Kurt.
Oh, wait, I was going off on another tangent. Of course, we remember a few years ago the whole thing in New Orleans with the Confederate statue that came down.
Okay.
Growing up in the South
Oh,
myself.
God, you're going to put that on?
No, it goes back to what you just said, having a discussion about it. Growing up in the South, where we grew up, we learned a certain thing. At least I did.
Okay.
Learned a certain thing about things like statues of those figures. I did not go anywhere and try and think anything different. You want to take the statues down, take them down. But I had a partner of mine who happens to be African American explain to me his opinion on it. It's like, you know what? You're all right. I see your point, and
So you had a conversation
I
about
had a
it.
conversation.
You learned something.
Somebody tell me
And you
another
grew
point of
better.
view and everything, and now
Yeah.
I feel differently about it.
That's, can I tell you, that's all it takes. Because most people are reasonable minded. What you see on the internet is brave people behind a keyboard sniping people anonymously. When you sit
Probably with
down
rich parents.
face to face, it's a little bit different. So what did he tell you that changed your opinion?
He explained to me the fact that being a young boy, he actually when he walked by a statue like that, and you're wondering what's that statue for, and you have your parent or whatever explain it to you, and that's like, well, why should we have that statue up there? And you know what? That it makes sense.
It does.
Thinking about it made me think of it from a different perspective.
So he helped.
Understand more
So you
about
went-
how.
well, yeah, he went from
verified your opinion.
Yeah,
Right.
well, he went from indifferent. It sounds like he went from indifference
to, you know what?
Definite.
They should.
They gotta
Yes.
go.
And then
Yes.
do a little research on it and realize, what time period those things were put there. Why were they put up to begin with? And look at it from that way.
That's
It's
the
like, you know
most
what?
disturbing aspect of that
Yeah, it's
story.
like, you know what? Yeah, they shouldn't be there. I agree with you. Take them down.
Symbols, statues, rides, all that other stuff, that's not going to make the work. You got to do what we're doing here, which is actually working with the
Having
people
conversations, yeah.
and the individuals.
Well, I couldn't agree more because, again, I think George Carlin
Yes.
said it best. Symbols
Yes.
are symbols, and I leave them for the symbol-minded.
That's right.
What I don't like about the Splash Mountain thing, to kind of bring it back to it, and look, I'm fine with the change. I will look and see what comes of it. Do I think it's the right thing to do? Probably.
Is it? But under this circumstance, I guess, is my thing.
Yes, that's exactly why it's happening, because of these circumstances. It's
yeah. I mean, it was like we have an opportunity to put Tiana somewhere in this park.
Yes,
we could build a new, fabulous ride. Maybe we don't build Tron, or whatever it is. We're going to do this, or we've got this space over here that we could build a whole Tiana's restaurant. But instead, let's just give her this. Well, it's not really a scrap because it is a good attraction, but it's kind of like, here is the solution to the problem we've had all along.
Well, you're setting her up to fail, is what you're doing.
And she doesn't deserve that.
Let me take this and just give it to her. As it's kind of like
settle,
not scraps, but it's like it is scraps, like scraps from the table. Like, we won't build you a new attraction, but you can have this. And now, thank God, we don't have to deal with that controversy anymore, because now we've made it right with Tiana. And I don't believe any of this petition stuff, first of all, because an attraction doesn't just get made in a week. They've had to have had this working for at least a year or 2 years to make this attraction, and so I almost feel like they're like, hey, let's put this petition out there and see what people say. Now they've got the go ahead to go ahead and do it, when they could have just built something for Tiana 2 years ago.
That's
3 years ago, 4 years ago, they could have done this.
If that's the case, that's what makes it more horrible. It's like now you're using this as a scapegoat, and you're not using it for what it should be.
Can I ask you just an honest question? Is what we're saying, is this Disney trying to give, what do you call it? Reparations for
pay it back.
Yes, exactly. Look, we're sorry we didn't include an African American character in any of our parks except for the Jungle Cruise thing. And I think that's going to be a whole other thing.
That's a whole other show.
Is this their way of saying? And because that's how it's coming across to me. It's like, look, you know what? We're going to do this, and we're going to get her in there and stuff like. Because I like your idea with Black Panther better. The idea that you're taking something and you're making something for this character, as opposed to shoehorning it into a place to where it may not fit. And now she's got this added responsibility of making this attraction that is so beloved by so many people that if this thing is off by a hair, they're going to be like, well, it's not as good anymore. Y'all screwed it up.
Can't half-ass this thing.
No, you can't. No, especially when a lot of your visitors are from the New Orleans area or from the South Louisiana area.
Well, we already know. You've already pissed off your New Orleans visitors, because we already know that is not a swamp.
That's exactly right.
A swamp is not like what you were saying before, Kevin, about these people. Like, okay, it's Chickapin Hill. That is actually a real location that existed within the tales, and that's where Brer Rabbit and them lived or whatever. And so the idea that you're in a hill, you can suspend disbelief, a hill, mountain, whatever. There is no such thing as high elevation in a Louisiana swamp.
No.
Is there?
Not in South Louisiana, not at all.
No,
The only
we're
thing I
not
can think of that would justify the drop thing would be Dr. Facilier throwing you over to the other side or whatever, but it hasn't already said it won't be that?
No, they've already given you the
they're going to say Mardi Gras, which pisses me off.
Yeah. Mardi Gras? What are you, a Mardi Gras bee? That's what they toss you off.
Can they bring in Dr. Facilier? Yes. I'm sure they'll bring Dr. Facilier back into the ride. So if they don't, because that's my favorite villain. Keith David is always one of my favorite actors.
His voice.
He's a great villain.
That's Goliath.
He's a voodoo man.
I was looking for him on Cameo.
Yeah.
I think this accomplishes a couple of different things for the company. First off, what would distract everybody from the calamity that was the whole phones are closed now thing than to say this? Plus, notice there's no timeline announced on this.
Sure.
I mean, you got Epcot, which is a piecemeal park right now because you have everything. You have Future World itself is just construction walls. And in the middle of a pandemic, we're going to retheme this ride. When? You got all these other projects that are ready in the books to go.
Yeah.
You got to finish those first before this one even gets near to starting. Mm-hmm. So when is this going to happen? 3, 4, 5 years down the road?
No one knows.
And by the time that comes, Chapek may say, yeah, you know what? We're not going to do that.
If Chapek's even still there.
The premature announcement of this does feel like, again, they're using this as a PR stunt.
I'm with that. Yes.
That's what it reeks of. And like I said, and I don't like the way that they're using Tiana and using New Orleans, and we were just going to put that in there and make it more appeasing.
That's the only
to the
African
masses.
American character we have, and she's a princess. It kills two birds with one stone.
This is a perfect distraction from all of that. This is something that they don't have to worry about acting on for a few more years now.
So, Kirk, I did want to ask you a question, though, as it pertains to Princess and the Frog. There's a character in there by the name of Ray. Do you find that character to be... could this be something that maybe in 10 to 15 years we're looking at that and saying, that's kind of a stereotype of a certain group of people?
If anybody would look at that way in 10 to 15 years from now, it would be somebody who's not from South Louisiana.
That's what I was thinking, too.
Because that was one of the best characters in the movie. I mean, I actually teared up when Dr. Facilier smooshed him.
Yes.
Look, I know people that talk like that.
I was going to say, so that's what I'm saying. Now, we know that the voice actor probably does not talk like that.
No, probably
just
not.
like Mater doesn't talk like Mater. You know, just like the Larry the Cable Guy does not really talk like that, just like the people who voice the Country Bears don't really talk like that.
Waterboy.
Right.
Nice one, Lee. Nice one.
Gee.
Is there something wrong with having a sense of humor
Nope. Not at all.
in terms of your...
Shoot, in every
sensitivity.
every New Orleans movie they make, I have a sense of humor every time.
Exactly. Because you know you're going to hear somebody that talk like this. You know,
Yeah.
you know you're going to...
Or somebody with a southern drawl.
Like
Nobody in
bad
freaking
would.
New Orleans talk like it.
Oh, my God. Like
Terrible. Everybody's sweating. There's
the
always
best-
a ceiling fan.
Oh,
the
you
best
so
would be
hot down
easy.
here. Mama,
That's a
I
terrible-
do declare it is hot on this porch tonight.
I would say
I
the
like
best
lemonade.
one I've seen to date. Go look up Hard Target with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I love that movie.
That is awesome because it's Wilford Brimley, the diabetes guy.
Oh God,
He has the worst
The diabetes
South
guy.
Louisiana accent
dog
ever.
and dog,
And
dog.
it's so funny.
And that movie's like based on The Most Dangerous Game. Like it's a very popular book, like an old school
Yeah.
book.
I mean,
Yeah.
they go from the swamp to the French Quarter, back to the swamp,
Cemetery.
in a cemetery, Mardi Gras warehouse.
Yes, that. Oh my
I
God,
remember that.
It
was
is so
awesome.
awesome. That movie, I love that movie.
I never get to see that.
So no, Danny, I could say there's nothing wrong with having a sense of humor, being able to laugh at yourself and the way other people see you. I do get a little aggravated with the whole everything that is set in New Orleans has to be
Mardi Gras.
There has to be a third line. There has to be beads.
Mardi Gras.
Has to be Mardi Gras.
That
Exactly.
part pisses
that's
me off.
That's a little aggravating, but and the whole New Orleans thing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with laughing at yourself.
That's what I figured you would say. I just wanted to be sure. Because, I mean, there is a lot of characters. Like, you go in Radiator Springs Racers, you'll hear Mater. Go in Country Bears Jamboree, you'll hear Big Al and Henry and all them talking in that same stereotypical Southern accent. And every single time I see it, I always remark about it. It's like, we don't all talk like that.
We read.
But that is the impression, and you just kind of blow it off. It's
I've never
yeah.
fought an alligator in my life.
Look, like the Popeye's chicken chick in the commercial. I can't stand that accent. Like, I don't know anybody in New Orleans that speaks like that.
No, me either,
Now,
yeah.
My wife, she taught in Southern. She's like, I know one person that does. I'm like, it's one person.
Right.
Okay, it's one person, but the whole of New Orleans doesn't have a dialect like that, or accent like that. I'm sorry.
right?
Yeah,
No, you're
yeah,
absolutely right.
And I can say that because I grew up here. We all grew up here. We can
You're
all say
always
that.
there, yeah.
One thing that I wanted to bring up, and this fact about the movie. Okay, of course, everybody's up in arms because of Splash Mountain, because it's based off the movie Song of the South. I can't buy Song of the South on Amazon, right?
Correct.
We can't buy it in the United States.
Right.
I can buy Birth of a Nation, the movie Birth of a Nation.
That would
by
be the most
Griffith.
recent. The most recent. Or
No,
D.W.
the
Griffith?
original G.W. Griffith movie Birth of a Nation, which was based on the book called The Klansman. The movie was originally called The Klansman.
Oh, jeez.
And you can think of any... Are you familiar with this movie?
No.
Kirk's familiar with
Birth
this
of a
movie.
Nation, yeah.
Basically, yeah, it's
Have
only...
you seen the movie Black Klansman?
Seen
No.
that one too.
They talk about the movie in this.
Right.
Well, they
Spike
reference
Lee
that
movie,
movie
yeah.
in the Black Klansman.
Okay, yeah. But that...
Kylo Ren.
I'm looking at Amazon right now. I can buy Birth of a Nation on Amazon right now. And people are crying about selling the South. But, the funny thing is about Birth of a Nation, if you're not familiar with this movie, is people tout this movie because it was a Hollywood cinematic extravaganza. He introduced techniques that people have never done before, and for that is revered in the cinematic universe. But the topic of itself is basically in the movie, the guy establishes the Klan to get order back into the South during Reconstruction is essentially what it boils down to. And Song of the South is not available yet. I'm looking at it right now. I can buy it for $30.33.
Can't talk to birds and
Blu-ray. I can buy special edition Blu-ray, $30.33.
Wow, let me get on that.
That's expensive.
So if y'all want to, yeah,
Is it a Blu-ray?
Of a movie I'd never heard of before.
well, it's $30 multi-format, so I'm assuming it's Blu-ray, digital download, DVD. You can buy a Blu-ray for $22, a DVD for $4. That's funny. A VHS tape, which is more expensive, you can buy for $9.
Can you rent it on Amazon Prime?
Yes, a Prime Video, $4 to anything $15, depending on what you do.
Don't ask me to review this
But
movie.
I can't get Song of the South, and y'all barking over that tree. Bark up this damn tree. I
There's
don't
a
care
lot of
how
trees.
much of a cinematic thing this is, because I read this, in Jim Corcus's book, Who's Afraid of the Song of the South, and this other podcast called I can't remember the name of the podcast.
You must remember this.
Yeah, you must remember this podcast called You Must Remember This. They bring up the fact of Birth of a Nation. And I decided to research it. I'm like, this is probably more offensive than freaking Song of the South. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but it's not Disney. And so you're not going to score as many political points if you're able to go ahead and get a family entertainment. Oh, look at this. Look, they're trying to teach our children hate.
Exactly.
That's where you score. And that's what I'm saying. I don't want to hear from those people. I want to hear from Disney fans. I don't care where you land on the issue, because chances are we'll find a way to meet in the middle, whether you're for them getting rid of it or you're for them keeping it, as long as you're speaking from a place of passion about the Disney parks and not from your own ideologic. Now, because, I mean, you got people out there who are politics first and Disney second. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. As long as this comes from a reasonable place and a place of love and passion for Disney, then that's fine. But
and some logic.
If it's coming from people outside of it that are just looking to score political points by putting a family entertainment company on blast, that seems a little bit more wrong to me.
And that's the thing. It's like, this podcast is built on all opinions are welcome, and so we can have that conversation, right? You bring facts, you better bring the research.
That's exactly it.
That's all. I work in the academia world for a long time, so you can't just spew to me facts and not give me the research behind it.
All opinions matter, but don't, after like two things to say, start labeling and accusing people of being this, that, and the other.
And that just means you have no argument.
That expect that your opinion is going to be held in the same esteem. Because I got to be honest. I mean, again, I'm cool with putting Tiana in there, and I'm anxious to see what happens in there, but I'm a little nervous about Splash Mountain under new management.
Yeah.
Or Splash Mountain 2.0.
And that's the funny thing. It's like we had another local, John LaFonte, who graduated with us.
Oh, yeah.
John on Magic Hour Pleasure Island, he posted, is like, he's not for this because he's worried about how they're going to treat it.
Yeah.
And how they're going to just shoehorn here into this freaking mountain. And that's one thing I posted. I was like, look, we're passionate about where we live.
Yeah.
Whether it's in New Orleans or down the bayou or wherever else in South Louisiana, it's a totally complete different culture than everything else. And we're very passionate about how we are represented.
Yeah, and I think that's what kind of ticks me off a little bit about this, is just because it's like, we'll just go to that. And it's like, well, man, everything y'all do with us is always Mardi Gras and
But that's all they know. They're out-of-towners come to Mardi Gras and rape us, and they sleep town.
Daniel, actually, you weren't in the
We're not in Angola, Kevin.
You weren't in the room, and I asked Kevin this earlier. Are we in agreement that it does fit in Disneyland in New Orleans Square?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Yeah, I have no issue with that whatsoever.
No, you go from the French Quarter to the Haunted Mansion Plantation House to the swamp. Just retheme all of Critter Country to a swamp.
It's just that, you're going from New Orleans Square to New Orleans Land at this point in time, and New Orleans is taking over Disneyland in a big way.
You would know better than me. Isn't there a restaurant somewhere in Critter Country around the Splash Mountain down there?
It's like the Hungry Bear or something.
Yes.
Is that it?
Tiana's place.
Sure. No. Well, I mean, at this point in time, you're looking at them changing the river. I mean, how much longer does Tom Sawyer Island have before they get rid of that one as well?
Mama Odie's Adventure,
that would have been a better option to build a Tiana land.
Shoot, give me Mama Odie's a whole swamp area.
Right. They could have just knocked all that out.
You want to find Mama Odie? Good luck.
I couldn't agree more, Lee. That's actually
no one goes there anyway.
Yeah.
No one goes there.
You think
I do have one question, just a devil's advocate type situation.
Sure.
obviously there's a lot of nostalgia and, memories behind Splash Mountain. Mm-hmm. Do you think people would have as hard of a time with this if they would only retheme one of the Splash Mountains? Leave one, change the one in Florida, or vice versa? To where you still had, for example, Mr. Toad. It's gone from Florida, but we still have it in California.
To be like Lee, here's what I would say: you can't get rid of something on the grounds that it might be potentially offensive, but it's only offensive on the West Coast, or it's only offensive on the East Coast. It's either offensive or it's not offensive. Even if it's in Japan, like there's, and I get maybe Disney doesn't make those decisions, maybe the Oriental Land Company does, and they're like, well, we don't really see it, but we're going to look into it, and blah 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 blah. But I think offensive is offensive. It shouldn't matter where it is. I mean, racism is racism, and if it's racist to have it in Florida, it should be racist to have it in California. And if it's not, then it shouldn't.
And here's the thing: you can at one time when I bought my DVDs for Song of the South, you can only buy them from Japan or England.
Yeah,
those are the only two places you could find either the Laserdisc or a copy of the Laserdisc on DVD.
Mm-hmm. Good Lord!
Lee brings up a point about Mr. Toad. Mr. Toad, when they took it out, when they went, so we could take this out to make Pool Ride in Disney World, they didn't just stick it in the same track.
No.
They made
they
redid the whole building, made a whole new thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and that's why I don't like it, is whatever story, it's going to be some truncated story based upon what fit the existing track layout, not based upon what the Imagineers, what the story would make the most sense to do. And that's what I'm saying. You're already 2 strikes down.
We're on guard.
Yeah.
Slippery slope.
The Brer Rabbit story had an element that fit the whole the fall because he was thrown into the briar patch.
Right.
Now that's it. Yeah, that's your drop. Tiana, no, it's not going to follow the exact storyline of the movie, but there is no logical, except for Dr. Facilier, which we don't think is going to be that fits the drop.
I think it'll be
There is none.
I do think it'll be.
That's the one thing that fits.
It has to be. And you know what? I'll be upset, because I read the timeline is supposed to be after they were married and everything else. I'll be upset if Ray's there.
Yeah, because he's not supposed to be.
He's not supposed to. I would rather see 2 awesome bright stars, and that would be a beautiful tribute.
We're
to
not
Ray.
Supposed to have a swamp on a mountain. Does Ray matter at this point? We're in.
If they were going to do it, then if they were to add that element, then all
same
bets
thing
are
as
off.
Kylo Ren being in Galaxy's Edge, and he's dead now.
Yeah.
You know what?
But I shouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I shouldn't be surprised.
You know what?
No, you shouldn't.
I got the solution.
Okay.
May as well just, at this point, since you can't fix it yet, just get a big old Tiana and just go ahead and just stick an Expedition Everest. Why not? I mean, like, at this point,
How does that fit in Asia?
Disco Tiana.
That's my point. The mountain
Tiana
doesn't
could go on
fit.
vacation. She needs a vacation from
She
making
go ahead and bring
beignets.
gumbo to
Tiana's
everybody.
place?
Yes.
No, I'm just saying. Yeah, right.
That's a
You know
good
what I'm
point,
saying?
E.
Yeah.
With all the mountains that are messed up right now,
Get the
you got
biggest one.
Yeah, you got Expedition Everest, Yeti don't work. Space Mountain, you can't be over 5'8" and fit comfortably in those cars.
Right?
It's
That's the future.
jerky from side to side.
Tiana goes to Asia.
I'm just saying, right? But
Tiana goes to Nepal.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if
Of
you're
all the mountains you choose to fix,
that one? No, if you're gonna go ahead and say this is the character we're gonna like die on the hill on, let's make it the biggest fucking hill we possibly can. Let's just go ahead and do that.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? This is the first mountain that they're deciding to retheme.
it is.
That's what it is,
right.
and that's what it is.
I'm just
basically.
saying,
Me, I'm so used to them getting rid of stuff that I love. It's like I'm almost numb to it now.
It's very tough to say. We are now not children, obviously, but we can now afford to go ahead and book a trip to have nostalgia, to go ahead and see that statue of Walt and Mickey holding hands, waving at you when you go in the area. And I mean, look, I'm not being weird, but I mean, look,
No, you're not.
Yeah, but they're
that makes sense.
Yeah, they're covered. The statue's black. As far as I'm concerned, Walt black, Walt smoke, Walt head. Look, I did some research on something else that maybe I'll do down the line, but look, Walt was a pimp. Walt was a pimp. Walt had it together. Walt had it together.
But I think what you said there, you kind of stumbled upon something that I think deserves also to be said, which is that is really at the heart, I think, as to what disturbs people so much, is because one thing about families that you love is tradition. You love there's this idea of traditions like, I remember my first time riding the Haunted Mansion. I can't wait to see my daughter's first time riding the Haunted Mansion.
Absolutely.
And to know that, if Splash Mountain's your favorite ride, or that area of the park is an area you like to visit, to know that, like, you can't share that with them anymore, and that you love something that now you're being told that it was wrong to like.
Yeah, not only
It's
that,
tough.
not only that does it like go away, but now you have to explain to your
Why it went
child
away.
why it went away.
Yeah.
And that's a very uncomfortable, trust me, I've had this talk. It's a very uncomfortable talk to have with someone who is, you know, like your kid and hasn't experienced any of that yet.
Yeah.
You know, you do not, trust me when I tell you this, you do not want to be the first person to break them in on it.
You know, it's something I feel like I want to say, but it's like, I don't know.
We
Well,
don't
let's see
keep
what
having
y'all
that
think.
issue, yeah.
No, but the thing is like, you know, if for everybody that's crying out loud or whatever else, you know, this, that, and the other, if you have a vacation booked or will be booked in the future, then obviously this is not enough for you to not spend your money at this company.
Sure.
You know, it's like, you know, if you feel this strongly about it, it's a business. You don't have to give them your money.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
You
absolutely.
always change the channel.
But if it's not enough for you to do that, then what the hell are you arguing about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you crying about?
Disney
Yeah,
can
well-
do what they want because, like Danny said in the past, they know their people, their fans base is going to go back no matter what.
If you're taking a picture in front of the partner statue, or you're taking a picture in Walt's apartment, or any of that stuff, just remember that's the guy who made Song of the South. I should say.
Oh, put the money in.
Right,
Yeah,
but
for-
who approved the decision-making processes that went on in that film? I mean, see, I think intentions matter.
That's a good point. Now you're breaking down the actual ideas, the ideals of what the park actually is.
Yeah.
And you're tearing it all apart.
Right. Whether it matches up with today's sensibilities or not, no, of course not. But I mean, you can judge things. Look, when I listen to my grandparents, you know, God bless them, when I listen to my grandparents speak, you graded them on the curve because they spoke from a bygone time.
Same with mine. Yeah.
There you go. That's how older people are, and you still love them.
And they're still there.
Right.
You got to, you know, it's
Right.
just- so it's funny that we talked about this because during the course of us recording the show, Kirk had sent us a petition that was going around. Kirk, I want you to read what that, or basically paraphrase what that petition is asking.
I will read exactly the headline of it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's not that long, so you can
It's a
definitely read it.
Petition for Disney to sell domestic parks to Oriental Land Company or next best offer. Disney's actions with Splash Mountain and other decisions in the last decade have shown that they don't care about quality and immersion anymore. They just care about profit and how their image looks to the media, pure corporate greed. While the executives at Disney have gotten filthy rich, the visitors have found vast price increases, less entertainment, shortened hours to be the new normal.
And why did I think the Oriental Land Company would be
I
any
was
better?
gonna say-
The next,
Okay.
Oh,
the
they
next
continue?
paragraph explains
Oh,
that.
wait, there's
Okay.
more.
Okay.
We are asking Disney to sell their domestic parks to the Oriental Land Company, a company with integrity that actually knows what they're doing.
Oh,
We
wow.
know that Walt would be saddened by today's corporate Disney. No longer for the average Joe in America. It's a sad day when a company from Japan would treat these parks with more respect, but that day has come.
Mercy is for the weak.
I want Danny to respond to that last part about them saying that Walt would be upset about this. Danny, please go.
I couldn't concur more. I mean, I think Walt Disney would be like, "Are you? What movie do you think we tried to make?" It's exactly what I think Walt would be saying right now if he was here. I mean, and that's what I'm worried about is how long before they come for the head of the snake.
Not too long,
Now,
apparently.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, all these problematic points. I mean, you have Peter Pan. You have
Well, if you cut one off,
Small
two
World.
more grow, right?
Isn't
thought it
it
was a Hydra.
Cerebus? Yeah, the Hydra.
Hydra, yeah, I thought it was Hydra, yeah.
Wow.
you know.
Not the
and
Kraken.
look, here's the thing: we can all do better.
Yes.
Do I care whether or not they get rid of the headhunters in the Jungle Cruise? No. Do y'all? I
No,
mean,
that doesn't
of
change.
everything in the Jungle Cruise, I mean, what is that, like the 12th most popular?
Yeah, I'm worried about the lion jumping off the ledge and eating me on the boat.
Do I care about that?
I'm going to put that in savages.
At the end of the day, do I care about the fact that they're replaced? Is it going to make me not go that they've replaced Splash Mountain with Tiana? No.
No.
But do I worry that they've set up this franchise for failure?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I
that's
think,
fair.
I think that's exactly what they're doing here, and I think you got a lot of what do you call them, Kev? Pixie dusters.
Pixie dust.
They're like, oh my god, it's going to be so great! Look at the concept art. When has the concept art not looked good?
Right.
Beastly Kingdom.
I'm worried.
Where is that at?
I'm worried about Country Bears.
Why are you worried about country
You think
bears?
that's
Is it
going to
gonna
be
go
offensive? See this
to what? To
offensive?
who? Southerners? They don't care about that.
No, listen to. I mean, you got shooting little.
Mama don't whoop little Buford.
Yeah,
Blood in
Lil
the
Buford,
saddle?
Blood in the saddle. How long before somebody starts a petition saying that's offensive? Well, that's promoting violence.
Well, you just don't know. I mean, that's the thing. It's whoever has a voice that's being listened to right now.
And then Henry, when what's her face, the girl goes back up. I forgot her name.
Oh, the girl that's on the little swing.
Yeah, Henry says something like, "Yeah, I'll be up in a little bit. Let me find a ladder. I'm coming right
I
up."
don't blame her. She's cute.
Take
it all out. Why don't we just blow up the park while we're at it?
If I may,
you're right there.
There's a thing off of a message board, and this is a post by this guy named or somebody named WW Pro, who cites that one source provides me with the following attractions and experiences which are to be under scrutiny and given recommendations for modification over the next 5 years. Number 1 was Splash Mountain. Number 2, American Adventure. Number 3, Hall of Presidents. Number 4, Country Bear Jamboree. Number 5, the Hoop-de-Doo Review. Number 6, Carousel of Progress. Number 7, It's a Small World. And number 8, Peter Pan's Flight. That's
Why it's a small world?
That's what I was
Africa
thinking.
scene.
They're saying a depiction of the Africa scene is,
Only
Africa.
the Africa scene? What's wrong with the Africa scene?
So they're gonna take Africa out? It's a small world, but no Africa in it?
Like, why would you ever depict a black character in a Disney park ever again? Seriously.
I was gonna say they're gonna hate me.
That's... Dude,
I ain't do nothing. I'm innocent.
stop!
All this stuff is going to do nothing but create a generation of racist people.
I'm gonna say, like, man, come on. All we want is to be built up. Not. I'm just saying, like, we don't want to be used as a scapegoat to tear something down. Somebody like, see,
but somebody's arguing, it's a stereotypical African person
they're
that you're
not
trying to play.
African American.
Yeah.
They not in the. Look,
But we're making fun of the people in Africa. That's what they look
man.
like.
Go to Africa,
And I
then.
can't believe we're doing that.
Go ahead,
It's so
go talk to
terrible. My question is
damn
like,
it.
you
This
know,
is not our fault.
here's the thing. I've never been to Africa. How do I know that they're not? That's not how that's not their customs.
Africa,
You know?
there's some traditions. You know what's not fair about that? Africa is way more modernized than media gives it credit for. It really is. It's a really it's
So
a
the
modern
people's view of what they're offended about
they're
is
seeing.
based upon
what they're viewing.
whatever they're able to see, and not the actual facts.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something real quick? Okay, so, Eli and I wrote a story called Judah, which was about a Rastafarian superhero. And as we rewrote it over the years...
Great story. I've told if you ever down, I got the resources.
Well, but I always kind of put the nix on it because after writing the first draft and really kind of was like, you know what, this doesn't make any sense. We don't understand Rastafarian culture. So why are we writing about a character we don't really understand just because we knew a guy who was Rastafarian?
Cool.
It was cool.
Jumped off a ball and
But
took out
the
a
point
bad
being-
guy from 100 feet.
The point being, I was so respectful of the culture. I'm like, I'm not going to write about something that I don't know about until I educate myself on it.
Yeah.
This would make me not want to write about anything having to do with African American because I'm worried that by trying to write something good and by trying
would fail.
that there's going to be not fail, but that there's going to be somebody who's going to criticize.
Yeah,
Well,
It was a
look at that.
backlash. No, that
I mean,
sorry.
my thought that everybody's going to take a very ethnocentric view of what he's doing,
And that's- and that's-
and criticize it wrongly.
And that's the other thing. Now we're getting really deep, but I'll say this and I'll walk away. When you go ahead and you do something like this, and you have like the people who are the big dogs, they don't forget. They'll be like, all right, I'll ride this out with you. I'll do this. Like if this is what's going on, people in uproar, I'll do this. But trust me, they don't forget. And when, like you said, the next time around, they're gonna be like, nah, we're just gonna go right past that because we don't want that same instance to happen again. The main problem is everybody remembers history and nobody tries to push towards the future. Everybody is just like, oh yeah, this is what's gonna go
It's
on.
still saying you can't move forward if you're looking behind.
Looking behind you, right?
Yeah.
That's why it's the past. It's never a present. Because
Rafiki
nobody
said
wants that gift.
Rafiki said you got to put your past behind you.
We would have got him on Cameo, but he
Is that what
wasn't
squash
around.
banana means? Is that what squash banana means?
Pumbaa said that.
banana,
Keep you
yeah.
passing you behind.
All right, well,
Oh,
Pumbaa
that's
we
right.
got.
Yeah, the Pumbaa.
All right,
Yeah, that's
good.
right, yeah.
She messed
Not
me up.
Rafiki, not
Can I?
Rafiki.
All right, last
Yes.
question.
Last question,
All right,
yes.
last question I got to ask because I think that this is deserves
But was
to
that
be
a
asked.
poignant point?
No, it was a very
That's
poignant
right.
point. Very
All
poignant
right,
point. And
yes,
that
yes.
leads me to this question. You made me think of this.
All right.
Which is that could this be the beginning of us starting to see a rebirth of non-IP characters in the parks? Characters that are not tied to existing franchises and movies that might have the baggage. So, I've seen people suggest, why don't we theme Splash Mountain off of Pocahontas? That would make more sense. And people are like, whoa, that's even more problematic. People are talking about Peter Pan. People are talking about all these different movies out there that have different kind of representations based upon stereotyping. Could we be seeing characters that are created for these park attractions so that way they don't have the baggage of these fairy tales and folklore and stuff that originated hundreds and hundreds of years ago?
I would say if they follow this through, then yes. But in my lifetime, no. They want to make the money. That's it.
That's it.
I don't know. I think that their movies, like Kevin says, it may happen. It's not going to happen anytime soon. They have existing properties and IP out there. I can see something like Zootopia being used that doesn't really center on a certain.
Have you met
race or anything.
animal fan people? They will kill you.
I'm not talking about your furries.
No, I'm talking about like the animals.
What you do in your own
Have you
time to
watched
keep to
Tiger
yourself?
King?
No, I'm saying.
Well, that's true. Hello, you
That's
cool
fair.
cats and kittens.
Yeah, what's up? Karen Baskin. That's I was having fun with Kirk, but that's your question.
We'll go Eli, Lee, then Danny. All right.
I think that what will happen is that they're still going to use IPs. But what they will do is they'll wait until everything cools down. That's the narrative. They wait till it all cools down, and then they'll make another character of some sort, some other IP. But I think this time they would be a little more attentive as to what the response would be from the IP character, and then they would probably jump on that. So I think they will still do it, but they'll be more selective about how they do it.
Yeah. Lee?
Lee, what do you think?
I feel like this is not my area of expertise.
Because we work for the park, so we have
If you got to
you
book
guys have a
somebody
little
to
more
go
in depth of the park knowledge and the history.
No, but you don't
No,
need
that
that.
was not history.
Yeah,
you don't.
not.
Lee, you don't need that.
No, he
All
said
I'm
IP.
asking is
Yeah.
do you think that Disney will start straying away from these existing characters that have tales that originated back hundreds of years ago? Do you think they'll stick with that when they keep making these movies, or do you think that you're going to start seeing kind of a rebirth of characters that are not necessarily tied to IP, that don't have all that baggage?
No, I think that hopefully Disney will do what they do best and tell good stories. And that will have to come sometimes from folklore and things that already exist. So I think they'll do maybe a more sanitized version of that, but who knows what 20 years from now that will get criticized as well. So
That's exactly it.
I think they're going to do whatever they need to do to tell a good story, and hopefully that will translate well for now, and then we can debate this with our grandkids and be like, you don't know what you're talking about.
Well, to your point, Lee, like look at J.K. Rowling. I mean,
Oh my God, yes.
Good Lord! I mean, she
Yes.
birthed the entire Harry. It doesn't even need that the bad behavior is in your stories. It just has to do with some
Right.
aspect of your personal life or your personal opinion that they can seize upon, and that's what I'm saying. Like the good thing about when Disney does like something like Splash Mountain, you might know that Tony Baxter worked on it, but you're not going to know every other person, so you don't know their personal politics or what they did in their personal life or what they got arrested for when they were 14. You just don't
But
know
you will
all this
that,
stuff.
You will know that 20 years from now because everything's on social media.
That's
There
a
you
fair
go.
point. You
Yeah,
know
that's
what?
a good point.
20 years from now, everybody be like, there's no such thing as magic. There's only science. Harry Potter, you got to go. You offensive to us because we use science and not magic.
We're all just tiptoeing through a minefield right now. That's
I try to hover over it personally. I've had a lot of practice.
But we want to hear from you guys. Hopefully, if you listen to this long, then good for you because you're able to listen to all those facts, absorb it, make some opinions, and maybe we'll hear from you, maybe we're not.
yeah.
But we're about to tell you on how to get in touch with us in just a little bit. Well, guys, we hope you enjoyed that discussion of Splash Mountain and everything else. If you want to learn more about us, magicourway.com is the way to go. There you'll find our social media links, past episodes, and more. You can also get in touch with us through the following ways to share your opinion. You can shoot us an email at show@magicourway.com. Leave us a voicemail via SpeakPipe widget on our homepage, or you can call or send us a text message. Yes, I did say text at 1-815-MOWEEKEND. That's 1-815-
Mo Weekend.
669-4226. And of course, we got a couple of guys who do things outside of the podcast. Number one, we got Eli. Eli, what you got going on, sir?
That's right. Put Black Panther in the park. That's what I'm saying.
Park that.
Park that. All that. Wakanda that. Look, again, thank you guys for listening to the show and listen to all our good banter and fun. And I would appreciate your support and extension going forward. You can always visit the Ivory Comics website, so ivorycomics.com, where you can go ahead and see artwork that I've done for Project Geisha, Molly Be Damned, 2 issues there. And Savages, due to this COVID incident, you can read it online for free. Totally for free. I didn't cut nothing out. Ain't no ads in it. Fully colored. You can read the whole thing for free.
Fully colored?
Fully colored.
Oh.
All colored. That's right. That's cold, but you're right.
Yes.
Yeah, you smart dude. I like that. Happy Appreciation Day to you, Kevin.
Love you.
Love you. There you go. All day. No pulp. So you can go ahead and see interviews and blog posts. And, of course, there's always a link to this podcast so you can listen to my CMB brothers talk about what's going on from day to day, all day, Disney. All right. Now, you can also go to Facebook.com. You can find me there, Eli H. Ivory. You can also see the Project Geisha Facebook page right there. So, Facebook.com/Project Geisha. Instagram, I'm out there. I know some of y'all reach out to me. I put some hearts up on there, put a little fire things on there. Look, there's some good stuff on there. All right. So, you can check me out right there at EIV504. And, of course, on Twitter, you can find me at Hancock10166. So, if you appreciate the madness, you just bring me the gladness in the
Well, if you want to drive Lee crazy, you can book a vacation with him. Lee, why don't you show him how?
I'm more than happy to sit online for 4.5 hours to book your vacation. It's not a problem at all. Just give me a call at 832-431-1621. That's 832-BRER Rabbit Hole. 832-BRRBTHOLE. Email me at lee@magicourway.com. Check out the Facebook page at facebook.com/Lastovica Travel. That's LASTOVICA Travel. Instagram, you can find me at You Got a Friend in Lee Travel. And if you do any of that, we'll get you hooked up and booked up with no
telephone line of Vika.
And guys, look, there's a bunch of ways to support the show, man. Buy some beignets, buy some clothing, support the BS Podcast Network. But the best way to support us is to tell your friends about the Magic Our Way podcast. Tell them what we do. Tell them what we're open to. Tell them how we are. Leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you download the show, whether it's Stitcher, Blueberry, Google Play Music, etc. And also, man, if you want to have a place to hang out with us, man, reach out to us on social media, man. That's the best way to do it. We have our group in Facebook, the Magic Our Ways Pleasure Island Facebook group, where every and all opinions are welcome, or reach out to us on Twitter and Instagram as well. And look, we thank you for taking the time out of your day each week to listen to us and making us a part of your Disney fan life. We appreciate you and love hearing from our listeners. All opinions are always welcome on the Magic Our Way podcast, so get in touch with us today. So, Mohegans, ladies and gentlemen, we say Kwaharini. My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
Magic out.
I have every intention of eating those bananas for breakfast, but I still somehow end up with tacos.
Tiana's Beignets. Coming soon to a mountain near you.
Hey,